Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, October 23rd. I'm Sonora Scott. Welcome to CVHP News. This will be a short newscast letting you know what we're working on today at KLST and KSAN and the stories you can find on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Plus, I'll share some other stories and things you need to know before starting your day. First up, the San Angelo Police Department announced they found a second victim in a kidnapping we first told you about last week. The second victim is a male juvenile who, according to police, was assaulted repeatedly, restrained, and was forced to check in with family members so they wouldn't become suspicious. He was able to escape the home where he was being held after 2 days. The suspects are 17-year-old Luis Duran and 24-year-old Joshua Gonzalez. The two men will be charged with an additional count of aggravated kidnapping. The third suspect in the first kidnapping is 25-year-old Christopher McGowan. All three men are accused of kidnapping a San Angelo woman and forcing her to participate in a home burglary. And San Angelo police also say they recovered nearly $22,000 worth of stolen property after an officer simply followed his instincts. SAPD was dispatched to Baymont Hotel where some guests reported their Polaris Ranger and trailer were stolen from the parking lot. An officer familiar with the area began investigating and went to a home he knew had been the location for some previous criminal activity. He was able to see the Polaris Ranger and trailer in the backyard of that home. Police got a search warrant and seized the stolen property. They also found another trailer that had been reported as stolen. They're now looking for 42-year-old Javier De La Rosa, and if you know where he is, you're urged to contact police. Well, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, City Councilman Tom Thompson is going to join us to talk about the upcoming sewer project. And we're back with City Councilman for District 2, Tom Thompson. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. Enjoyed it.
Perfect. So we're actually going to talk to you about two different things, okay?
That we are.
For your two different day jobs.
Yes. If there's a person that has way too many jobs, it's me.
It is. I agree. So the first thing, we're going to stick with the City Council theme. All right, we're going to talk about this sewer project that people can vote on the November 5th election.
November 5th ballot, it's out. Mm-hmm. And I can't say go for or against, but I'm going to give everybody some data and some background. It's actually in Tommy Hebert's district, District 1, but it's in Asworthy, and the sewer project. And so everybody's always brought up questions, and I have even wondered, and what's cool about being on City Council, and I encourage people to do some public service, you learn a lot of the things that go on everywhere, and you're kind of responsible for that. So with the sewer system out there, you wonder why we don't have a hotel at the lake, why we don't have some restaurants out there. We've just got one sewer main that runs across Lake Nasworthy.
Yeah.
And it's been there forever, and it's a very small main. It only has a capacity of like 500,000 gallons a day. So the solution to that is to put in a new, it's a very complex system, and it's to put in a new sewer system, wastewater system out there. And as we've looked at the solution, a lot of questions come up, and I'm sure you've heard tons of how do you fix that? So how do you fund that? And what I like to point out is for a couple years in a row, we have not increased the tax rate for city taxes in San Angelo. And our council, we all campaigned on let's make it right and let's try to keep things manageable. Lake Nasworthy has a fund that has come from the sales of property out there. The majority of that property used to be leased property. And so we as a council decided when these leases come up, the city of San Angelo doesn't want to be in the real estate business. We want to sell those. So as we sell those, part of those sales go into a trust fund. That trust fund now has $15 million in it that if I get my story right and if I understand the data properly, that fund is available. The voters are going to vote on it. I mean, it belongs to the entire city of San Angelo. It doesn't belong just to the people of the lake. But the whole direction is kind of divided on, or it's going to be determined by a vote here on November 5th. Am I making sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm with you.
I'm with you. Well, if you look at, with wastewater systems, you have lift stations that help it flow and ebb and flow and get across, and then you have grinders and all that. As we looked at the lake over a period of time, almost a half of what we have for the city just manages what takes care of the lake. Now, the lake is probably one of the best gyms we have in San Angelo. I don't know any town in West Texas that wouldn't want to have 2-3 lakes like we do, and one like Lake Nasworthy. So what we'd love to do is go through with this proposition and let the voters go and determine if we're going to go forward with repairing it and improving the system, basically, and run 2 mains down through the lake. And it gives you a little bit of redundancy in case one breaks down and goes forward. But with that, the economic development we'll see out at the lake will just be great.
Yeah, like you were saying, a lot of people do ask, why doesn't anything new go out there, and this is the problem, right?
Right, and people, I guess it's something we've kept a little bit, we hadn't talked about a lot, but we don't have the capacity. I mean, it's running every bit. It's at 100%. And, who wouldn't want to see a couple more restaurants out of Lake? Who wouldn't want to see maybe the future development of flight academies, tea hangers, restaurants, all the things out along the Nasworthy area? I mean, whether people like it or not, San Angelo's going to grow, and it's going to grow a lot. We just want to help point it in the right direction, and this proposal in front, I think, will help do that. Yeah,
and part of that growth is you have to have the infrastructure for that growth. So this is one of the ways y'all are preparing. Right?
Oh, absolutely. In that fund, I need to go a little bit of the funding for it. There's $15 million in that fund that the voters are going to say yes it is, but it's not only for the wastewater project. There's some fishing piers, there's some boat docks, there's several things at the lake we want to improve. We just have to have the money for it. We don't want to raise the taxes. So in this capacity, we'll take this fund, use this fund, and then there's still, I think, 160 something other tracks that will come up and sell over the oncoming years will sell, and that should generate an additional revenue that will help offset the cost of this. So hopefully this whole expansion project is something voters can look at and determine, do we want to, throw it out there and say, let's go for some economic development.
Yeah, I was looking at the city's website. It has everything laid out, the frequently asked questions about this project and everything. I'm glad you brought up some numbers. So I wrote down the estimated cost for all of this, everything, is $32 million. But like you said, there's $15 million already in the fund. And then the tracks, like you were talking about, that will eventually be sold, that will raise an estimated $16 million.
$16 million off that.
So we're looking at basically almost funding this whole thing.
Well, and I will say this, as a person, you want to safety yourself with what you're saying, but we should hope that what this hits the person's pocketbook, they'll never even notice. I mean, what you want to do is you want to praise and thank some people out at Nasworthy for creating this fund, to actually set this money back and have savings to go forward when you need to do it.
Definitely. So this is one of the things you can vote on.
Absolutely.
For this
go vote.
election.
Please go vote.
Yeah, and early voting has already begun.
It has started.
Yes.
Going on today at the Ed B. Keys building.
Yes, and Monday through Friday, not every day. You can't vote on the weekends
No,
early.
But we're off on those days.
Yeah, exactly. But you can go to the Ed B. Keys building to vote early until November 1st, I believe, and then it's the weekend, and then Tuesday, November 5th, is the actual election day. So 10 constitutional amendments for the state, and this proposition for the city, for residents of the city of San Angelo, and then there is also the Water Valley School District bond.
Absolutely.
On that. So there's a lot of things, a lot of ways that you can get involved, making your voice, heard.
People need to go vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the single most thing I don't think we educate people enough on. If you want to talk about it and you want to have input, there were people hundreds of years ago that gave their life just to be able to drop a piece of paper in a box, and people forget that. So let's remember, if you want to have a voice, go vote.
Exactly. Go vote. Simple as that.
Simple. That's simple.
Well, perfect. All this stuff will be, it's already on our website, and we'll update it. We'll continually update it. It's just ConchoValleyHomepage.com. We've got a whole section there for your election headquarters, everything. within, I don't know, all the elections. You can find it there on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. So now, Tom, we're going to talk about your other day job.
Right. The next other day job.
The next other day job
Right.
on your list of many. So the Ropin' Fiesta. So Tom Thompson is also the marketing director for the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo. And Ropin' Fiesta, it's time. It's coming up.
It's here. I mean, it's, as soon as I leave here today, we're back to the office. We had a board meeting last night. We updated the board there, but I think sometimes we forget about it. We go, there's a whole staff of people up there that work Stock Show office, Brittany, Justin, Linda, Brenda, all of us, the new Brenda, the new Brittany, we're working our tail off for Fiesta. It's arguably probably the second largest economic impact to San Angelo.
Yeah.
And you see
Rodeo's the first, right?
Yeah,
so
Rodeo's
y'all are busy.
So we help steer the ship, but I mean, we're a nonprofit, and basically we're a fundraising, organization out there. Ropin' Fiesta is, our second largest fundraiser, but the 66th annual Roping Fiesta starts Friday with the prelim and the spur, which I know you've seen before. Have you ever gone out there and just watched for hours?
Watched for hours? Yes, I have been out there for hours.
Well, it's free. I mean, on Friday,
it is free.
If you want to go watch the calf rope and the tie down, our prelim numbers are up. We've got probably over 110,
wow,
which is over 25 more than we've had in previous years. So that roping will start at 10 o'clock Friday morning. It'll probably finish up about 4. Then the Young Guns contest. But the big crowd favorite starts on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, the match roping. Let's talk about it. Caleb Smith and Ryan Jarrett. RJ.
Now, this one's got a little drama and a little history to it because 2 years ago, Caleb and Ryan matched, and Caleb Smith won that one going away.
Yeah.
Right. Last year, when it comes time for the rematch, kind of the informal norm is if you lose 2 times in a row, then the committee takes the opportunity to invite somebody else to make sure we put the best out there we can do. Last year, about a week before the match will start, Caleb Smith called in and had to withdraw.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, we have a traditional, a norm of we just want gold buckle winners, people that have won all-around titles to be in the arena.
Well, that's easy to get them here to San Angelo because this is where they want to be.
You know what? We have been the launching pad for so many people's careers, and I say that rather vain and arrogantly, but Cody, Dean Oliver, and I mean, this tons before, even our current staff or committee was in place. The best of the best has always traveled through the arena, and we call it, Fiesta Dirt. If you've ever competed on Fiesta Dirt, you've left your name and you've made your mark. And so many people on the little bucket list of championships, they want to win Calgary or Cheyenne or Pendleton. One of them they want to win, whether we're PRCA sanctioned or not, is I want to go have my name in the history books at Ropin' Fiesta in San Angelo.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll go back tie-in. Last year, Shane Hanchy came in, was a gold buckle winner, and he substituted for Caleb Smith. He got a call 6 days before the match. He only had about 3 or 4 days to prepare. RJ beat him last year, but it's kind of hard to handle bigger calves, heavier calves at long run. It's also an athletic endurance event.
Yeah.
Well, this year, Caleb Smith has come back, and we call it the rematch.
The rematch.
The rematch, and what you'll see is Caleb and RJ are going to go head-to-head on 12 calves. They roped the same 12 calves.
Yep.
But that'll be the big match, and it'll be between goes at the roping. We still have a big invitational calf roping that has, 40 of the world's best. I mean, they have to sit in line and enter and hope their name gets drawn. What's cool, this year and last year, all these dollars count for PRCA winnings.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Explain it to the folks who maybe aren't as well-versed.
Well, the time frame for the PRCA calendar year is basically October 1 through September 30th of the following year because they have the national finals in December. But they have to have a time period in there to calculate their money and get everything right. So effectively, October 1st, we start a whole new season.
Yeah.
So our Roping Fiesta is mainly the kickoff for basically the 2020 season. What was funny was last year the people won a Roping Fiesta for the 19 season actually led the world standings for about 3 months.
Hey.
It's a game changer.
I mean,
you win that amount of money. We pay out nearly $100,000 over 2 days in the calf roping and the steer roping. And those people took those funds, and they were the leaders of the national standings for right at 3 months. So if you win out here this coming weekend, you know what? It helps you a lot on your qualifying.
And that's, making it a sanctioned event. That is just, that was a very popular decision, I'm assuming, among the contestants.
Well, there's some PRCA guidelines and some people that get into it. Now that it's PRCA, we have qualifiers to compete and come across and do that. and that payout kind of spreads out a little bit more. But it's still it's a great amount of money for a single day event to come and compete against 40 people and be able to walk out of there with $7,000, $8,000, $10,000
It adds
for about
up.
2 minutes of work. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So, and here's one Brittany will give me if I don't talk about it.
Okay.
We have the Cowboy Christmas gift show.
Oh yes. All the
Goes on-
shoppers out there, this is where you want to be.
You don't want to miss it, and it's the people that come there. This is where they do their Christmas shopping. If they don't go to the Nationals Finals Rodeo, they swing out and they say, you know what, I'm going to go roping Fiesta. But you'll see all the wives and all the shoppers, and I'm a shopper, so you'll find me probably sneaking off to go through the Coliseum and the cattle barn. And Brittany's got I don't know, probably 30, 40 vendors set up in there, and it's amazing the stuff you see there.
There is a lot of stuff. Y'all expanded to the Coliseum a while back because there was just too much.
Well, it's great. That's a good problem to have because you've got to film in 2 different places, and it's free to actually go out there and go through the gift show. Only if you go into the arena do you have to buy a ticket, which is $12 on Saturday, $10 on Sunday. It's not an expensive thing to do, but it's really cool. So let me throw in a crowd favorite on Sunday.
What is it?
The double mugging.
Oh, yeah.
And we have to tell people this is not a double mugging where somebody holds somebody hostage.
Yeah, no, not that kind of mugging.
But we've had phone calls before saying we heard there was a double mugging out there. We're like, yes.
Not that kind.
But there was nobody was hurt. That was a bystander, or a tourist. And a double mugger's where 2 gentlemen go out and they rope a 650-pound heifer. And they have to flank her and get her down and tie her legs up, all right? This is a practice that's still done today in stocker and in ranch operations, all across the U.S. People don't understand that. They're like, really? Yeah, absolutely. That's how they treat and doctor cattle. They'll rope them out of the pasture. If they're big enough, it's going to take 2 of them. They get her down, they tie them, they treat them, then they let them up. Over time, it's just like rodeo. Some people say, well, I can go do that one faster than you can. And it's the double mugging, and it is a crowd favorite.
Yeah.
We've got a new sponsor this year with Long Industries that came in, and we want them to enjoy it, but the crowd just loves to watch that go down.
It's pretty funny. There's some times where it gets pretty Western out there, but it's
well, I will say usually the Cowboys are an underdog.
Yeah,
they are by far. It's like I don't care, even if they're 2 boys like me with a combined weight of well over 500 pounds.
Yeah,
she still weighs 650. Yeah, and when she decides to come around through that, she can create a lot of excitement. I'll put it that way.
Yes, she can.
Absolutely. So, is there anything I left out?
I was about to ask you that.
Oh man, I don't know. There's so much, and I could go on. And you know what? Yeah. There's always 3 speeches. The one you prepare for, the one you gave, and the one you wish you would have given. Or the one you wish you would have given. So, I think we've covered the calf roping on Saturday, the invitational. We've got the steer roping and the double mugging. And you know what? Also, we tie this in, and I need to get this now. The In Plain Air Texas group is here. All the artists. And Treva Boyd and Mike Boyd would have me if I didn't bring this up a little bit. They're artists, roughly 40 artists from all over the United States that fly in. And this is one of the biggest events ever. And this is just, I call it freestanding art. These people come up, they'll do a painting. Some of them, you'll see them set up out there, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they'll do paintings of the crowd. They'll do paintings of the kids that are out there showing over in the barns. And it's just awesome what these people can do in a few minutes. So I want to say the In Plain Air, and you can go to In Plain Air Texas. Just Google that, and it'll take you right to their website. Yeah,
it's amazing just watching them, and they capture it. They get it, and it's there.
It. Well, and what's cool is some of these guys, they're pretty free-handed, ladies. You can go up and say, "Can you put my brand on that?" Yeah. And we've seen them do that. Well, what's your ranch brand? And they'll put it in there. And people, okay, I'm buying this piece of art because you kind of personalized it for me. You made it personal for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So we think that's cool.
It's combining, some things that you might have thought, didn't really go together, but we bring them all together here in San Angelo. How about that?
We'll bring them together, and I think it's for Saturday out there. It starts at 1 o'clock. Sunday it actually starts at noon. We're going, and the weather has turned out perfect for this weekend, because it's going to be a little bit ugly on Thursday. Friday, we're going to be indoors when it's only going to be into the mid-50s, but we'll be indoors anyway. Yeah. And then Saturday, it gets into the low 70s, and Sunday, it gets back into the 80s. So
a beautiful weekend.
It's all going to work out perfect.
Beautiful weekend, wonderful event. You can't go wrong.
I think it's great, and I can't thank y'all enough for having us down here to talk about it.
Well, of course, yeah, and we've got a lot of everything that we talked about, plus more on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com, so you can just go there, catch up on all the things you missed, local news, sports, weather, it's all there. Make sure you download our free app. Just search ConchoValleyHomepage.com, and you'll just stay updated throughout the day.
Cool. One thing I'll throw in a last liner. If you need more information about the events this weekend, you can always go to SanAngeloRodeo.com, or you can call us at 653-7785.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Tom.
Thank you for letting us be here.
Oh, yeah. A blast as always.
Enjoy it.
All right, y'all. We'll see you back here tomorrow.